I'm Takuya Isomura. So we are interested in the theoretical modeling of the brain. So in the neuroscience, there are two major theoretical approaches to reveal the brain mechanism. One approach is focus the dynamics of the neuron or synapses to recapture the brain. For example, this is a electrical circuit, and as you may know, a neuron can be modeled in a similar form. So this circuit explains the neuron model, and it is possible to consider some cost function that derive the dynamics of neuron. So here, the dynamics that minimize this cost function indicate the generation of neural activity. So this is one approach. And another approach to investigate the brain is an approach that focuses on the information processing of the brain. It is considered that brain process sensory information using statistics. For example, if there is an apple nearby the wall, we don't think this apple is locked in the shape of the wall, but we usually think a part of the apple is covered by the wall. So this kind of inference can be explained by the statistical inference. And it is known that if we consider some cost function called free energy, the process that minimizes this cost function free energy indicate the update of the expectation about external world state. So this update can optimize our inference like this. So this is another aspect of brain theory, and this hypothesis that brain minimizes free energy to perform statistical inference is known as the free energy principle. This is a principle proposed by Carl Friston, which states that perception, learning, and action of biological organisms are determined by minimization of variational free energy, which is a cost function for Bayesian inference. So by minimizing this function, biological organisms can perform the inference of external world state. This slide shows a cartoon that explains how free energy principle works for perception and action. Here, this dog is our agent that perform inference, and this dog is interact with environment which comprises a person. This person has some mental state which correspond to the hidden state for model, and hidden states generate observations through generative model parameterized by parameter theta, and here the information that can be perceived directly is only this observation. So this dog, our agent, need to infer the hidden state, and to do so, dog has some representation about hidden state, which is called posterior belief. And this posterior belief can be optimized by updating this value to minimize the free energy function, like this. And to achieve this inference, dog also need to update the parameters expectation to minimize the free energy. And by doing so, dog succeed the the optimized inference about the hidden state in the external world. Interestingly, same framework can be applied to explain the generation of action. Here, this dog has some preference about the input stimuli, and to achieve this sensory stimuli, dog select the best action that minimize the future free energy, which is called expected free energy. And by generating actions that minimize future free energy, this dog can finally attain the feed as the dog expected. So interestingly, this framework can account for both perceptual and active inference. However, this is still an abstract theory, and the important question is, what is the neuronal substrate that underlie this theoretical framework? So we would like to address that part. In other words, free energy principle is a theory with high abstraction, and its neuronal substrate is still unclear, but there are other theory in the neuroscience that account for more microscopic level. For example, it is well known that neurons follow the Hodgkin-Huxley equation, and that can be reduced to simple rate coding model. Moreover, synaptic plasticity is known to follow the spiking timing plasticity rule, and this can be reduced to well-known Hebb's rule, which states that when neuron, post-synaptic neuron and presynaptic neuron fire together, then the connection between those neurons strengthened. So our group addressed the creation of clear link between those physiological phenomena and the theory derived from information theory. So to address this issue, we recently proposed a theory about the theory that precisely link between those two aspects. To do so, first we consider the equation of neural activity and consider what is the biologically plausible cost function for this equation. And by taking the integral of this equation, we could derive a biologically plausible cost function for a neural network. On the other hand, for free energy, once we consider the model of external world, we can derive the free energy function automatically. And minimization of this free energy indicates the optimization of inference. And our work showed the clear equivalence between those two cost functions, which has seemingly different background. But interestingly, mathematically speaking, they have exactly same form. So we can say that for any neural network cost function, we can consider the corresponding free energy function. So in other words, the equivalence indicate that for any neural network interacting with external world, we can consider the interpretation of that dynamics in terms of Bayesian inference. So in short, we show that any neural network that minimize cost function follow the free energy principle. And by using this equivalence, we show that a standard neural network employing biologically plausible synaptic plasticity rule can solve the maze task, which is an example of delayed reward task. Here, we consider that this modulate synaptic plasticity with a certain delay, and show that which is equivalent to a mechanism of Bayesian inference under some generative model, which is sufficient to optimize this sentient behavior. In summary, our group working on developing a mathematical theory to universally characterize the brain intelligence, in particular focus on the what is the point that what is the superiority of brain intelligence over existing artificial intelligence. As I mentioned, we are particularly focused on the mathematical equivalence between neural network and variational base. And we are now planning to validate this theory mathematically and experimentally. And moreover, we are also working on the application of this theory to develop a biologically inspired learning algorithm for artificial intelligence. Here, this is one example that we developed an algorithm that optimizes the feature extraction to maximize the prediction ability. And now we are planning to apply this algorithm to predict video images or controlling arm robot. Finally, if you are interested in working with us as a student internship or postdoc researcher in future, please visit my breakout room or contact me. This is my email address. And for joining us as a master or PhD co-student, please also check the entrance exam information of Graduate School of Informatics, Kyoto University.